Hi, I'm Steve at the Carmichael workshop. Today I'm going to use my Inventables X-Carve CNC to make a frame for my autographed Van Halen CD. Way back in 1988, Van Halen released their OU812 album, and they did an interview on the Rockline radio show. They said, mail in a postcard for a chance to win one of 500 autographed CDs, and I ended up winning one. This is a CD single for the song Black and Blue from the album, and the cover is autographed by Eddie, Alex, Mike, and Sammy. And yeah, it's taken me over 30 years to get around to making a frame for it. Before I get started, I want to thank Inventables for sponsoring this video. Inventables offers some of the most affordable CNC carving machines, as well as unique materials, CNC accessories, and their free EASEL software. Plus they have a great user forum, a huge library of user projects that you can make, and also top-notch customer support. If you're thinking about getting into the world of CNC, then click my referral link in the video description below to see what they have to offer. I'm going to make a frame that will hold the CD case, and the letter that I received from Rockline. Check out the artwork on this old letter. It's got an old style telephone plugged into a boombox. We didn't actually plug our phones into our boomboxes back in the 80s. I think it's just to represent calling into a radio show. Anyway, the frame is going to have a backboard that's made from 3/4 inch cherry, and I'm going to use the CNC to cut recesses for the case and the CD. And there's going to be space for the letter as well. I'm also going to cut some thin strips of maple to create a border on the front of the cherry backboard, and I'm going to use the CNC to cut the trademark Van Halen stripes in the border. I designed the project in the EASEL software by drawing some basic shapes, and then I split it into two jobs, one to cut the stripe pattern around the border, and then another one to cut the pockets for the CD and the CD case. Like most other woodworking projects, I'm going to take this cherry board and chop it up into smaller pieces, just so I can glue it back together to make a backboard panel for the frame. For the Van Halen stripe border, I'm going to cut some thin strips of this curly maple and glue it on to the front of the cherry panel. Alright, I've got my blank prepared and ready to be mounted on the X-Carve CNC. While I was gluing on the border pieces, I had to make sure everything is glued on nice and square, because when I mount it on the CNC machine, I want to make sure that it carves the stripe pattern around the border nice and square and centered. So basically, this project is going to show whether Steve is anywhere close to the accuracy of the X-Carve. While the X-Carve is hard at work carving out this project, I'd love to hear about any autographs that you might have in the comments below. I hope this project gives you some ideas on how you can frame those yourself. If you're new to my channel, please take a second to click that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any of my future projects. To carve the pockets for the CD and the CD case, I've lowered the bit to the height of this interior surface and positioned it at a 0 point that is inside the lower left corner of this border. This tiny triangle was too small for the 1/8 inch bit, so it kind of just drilled a hole in there. So I'm cutting out the corners with this utility knife. Well, this turned out looking great. Let's see how everything fits. Ah, cool. Everything fits like I wanted, so now I'm just going to spray it with some satin clear lacquer. To hold everything in the frame, I'm just going to cut a thin piece of this acrylic and screw it onto the front. And then I just need to add a sawtooth picture hanger to the back. Alright, well here's the finished autographed Van Halen CD frame. I really like the look of the maple stripes against the cherry, and it looks really good here in the EVH corner of my office. I should have made this 30 years ago. Once again, I'd like to thank Inventables for sponsoring this video, and also I will share a link to my EASEL project in case you'd like to check it out. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.